Hi guys, welcome to the webinar. My name is Dan Lauritsen and I'm really happy to be doing this with you today. We're gonna have an amazing time and you are gonna have amazing benefits from this webinar. First, I just want to check if the microphone is working well. If you can hear me, please write in the chat box below. Just write anything so that I can see that you hear me. Yeah, all right, got it. Thanks, guys. We're just gonna wait for 30 seconds for the last guys to get in on the webinar. So feel free to go and get a glass of water, a cold drink, or a quick run to the bathroom, and we'll start just in a while. All right. Well, if there's anybody else joining later on, then they'll just have to come in at a later stage. Anyways, we're ready to get rocking. So kick back and enjoy this webinar. We're gonna have an amazing time today. So what I want to go through today is how to save 70% on your energy bill with LED lights and avoid the 7 most usual pitfalls. We have a lot of expertise in industrial estates across the UK, and this webinar is really the recap of all our combined works over the past few years and all the examples and great projects that we've made here in Polaris. The first thing I wanted to go through is just to underline who this webinar is made for. If you're managing industrial facilities with more than 100 light fittings, then this webinar is definitely for you. This could be warehouses, manufacturing facilities, cash and carries, distribution centers, wholesalers, sports facilities, or anywhere with large outside areas such as parking lots and parks and so on. If you're in any of these categories, this webinar is definitely for you. It's spot on, and this is what you want to prioritize in the next few months. If you have smaller premises, then this wouldn't really be applicable to you. But anyways, I'll go through the next point now. So, would you like to successfully convert to LED lights and save 70% energy? Would increased lux levels make your employees and customers happy? Would your maintenance team prefer not to be changing light fittings every month for the next 5 years? Could the money saved on your energy bill be used better in another part of the business? Getting one more employee, investing in new machinery, really anything but energy bills every month. So I think I guess the questions here for everybody is this definitely makes sense. Yeah, I'll move on. And I just wanted to put this out there. If you stick to the end of the webinar, then I have a checklist that our energy consultants use every single day. And I'm going to share this with you so that you can take your decisions and do your LED light conversions with the same checklist as they use. This is great value. So please stick around to the end of the webinar, and we'll make this available to you. Right. So, does this sound like you? Your employees keep complaining about low light levels or lights being out of order, and then you will have to send somebody to fix it. Your maintenance team is spending time changing lights all the time. Your monthly energy bills are 3 times what most of your competitors are paying. And you know that LED lights can solve all of this, but you just haven't had the time or the budget to do something about it. Does this sound like you? Let me know in the checkbox if you can recognize any of these points, huh? And I'll move on. Great guys. Yeah. I know a lot of people who've been in that situation. We meet a lot of people, and usually mostly it's a matter of, people knowing that LED lights can do all of this for you, but you've just got other priorities in your life, either for your time or your budgets. Now, with this checklist, with this webinar, this can be done much easier, much quicker, and be sure to get successful results of that investment. Does that make sense? Great. With the correct use of LED lights, you can actually increase the lux levels for your employees and customers. You can avoid changing light bulbs for the next 5 years. You can save 60 to 70% on your energy bill. And you can do all of this without any upfront costs. Doesn't that sound great? I love it. This is just a great value proposition. And on top of all of these things, you'll actually be saving the environment a lot of CO2 and help us get rid of or conserve energy as well. So, this is just plus. Let me just tell you a few words about myself. My name is Dan Lauritsen. I'm the CEO of Polaris Light. I've got a team of energy consultants that makes hundreds of LED light surveys across the UK every single month. We also design and manufacture every single LED light that we sell for every project. So that means that we haven't got any lights in storage that we're trying to sell you. We will go out, survey the premises, and then we'll custom build every single light fitting to match the optimal conditions in each and every premises. That ensures that we've got the latest components and ensures that our clients gets LED light fittings that are optimized exactly for their conditions and needs. This month we're converting 400 football pitches across the UK and 4 very large warehouses. And a little bit later in the webinar, I'm going to show you examples of this so that you can see what we do with very large clients. Anyways, I'll get back to the webinar now. The main problem here is that all the UK wholesalers, they stock the cheapest mainstream LED lights, which is most in demand. Basically, these wholesalers, they need to serve hundreds of electricians across the UK, but on the other hand, they want to keep their amount of different light fittings to a minimum. If they could, they would prefer just to have one of each type. That means that they have to settle on middle of the road products and focus on really low priced products with lower quality in order to stay competitive in this market, because everybody is coming out with the same middle of the road products. This is what the electrician can offer you if you ask him. Say, give me a quote on this. He'll offer whatever the wholesaler has got in stock. Now, the old way of converting to LED lights was exactly a product of this distribution chain. You would call the electrician, ask him to give you an offer to install LED lights, and he'll then go and order some standard products from the regular wholesaler. You will get lower lumen per watt and thereby little energy savings. You'll probably have less lux levels than what you would like. You will have limited or no use of sensors. You will have no Dialux calculations to optimize the results. You'll have no lenses to direct the beam angle of the light. You'll have cheap drivers just lasting 2 to 3 years. And you'll not have any calculations of the energy savings or the return on investment. So basically, you would be taking decisions very blindly and only with a focus on the price, rather than all of these other factors that are, in most instances and in the long run, much more important than the price of the initial project. Does all of this make sense? Yeah, I thought so. Right, the new way of converting to LED lights. First, you want to specify the optimal LED lights for your premises, and then you will have them produced and installed. So basically, the reverse of before. The first thing you want to do is decide on lumen per watt ratio. So is this a long or short-term focus of your business? The longer term focus you can have, the larger lifetime savings you can obtain. Second thing you want to do is measure the lux levels in your premises today and decide on which levels you would like to reach. You will then choose the areas where sensors can be used, if you've got any obvious areas for that. Then you'll demand a Dialux simulation to show you the results, how the results are going to be from changing to LED lights. And while making the Dialux, you will also choose the optimal beam angle of the light fittings, and you'll have a Dialux simulation for each beam angle to see how much difference this makes. You will then choose a high quality driver, and lastly but not least, you'll have a calculation of the energy savings and the return on investment. All of these 7 points will turn this will turn you into being in the driver's seats of both the whole project as well as the results. You will not be driving blindly, but you will actually have fully informed decisions, knowing exactly what energy efficiency you will be reaching, which lux levels you will be getting, and which savings and return on investments you will get from this project. So really, you're taking control over the project, and this is very important. Does this make sense? Great. Right, so the first thing you want to do is decide on the lumen per watt ratio. Now, lumen per watt is the energy efficiency of the lights. How much light do you get from a given amount of electricity? Most LED lights today are produced at 80 to 100 lumen per watt. Right now, we are able to deliver up to 170 lumen per watt, which will give you 70% more energy saving over the lights that you can get from the wholesaler. You know, it's not that 170 is always the right answer, and just the higher the better. Sometimes it's not. This is about striking a balance between the lux levels that you want in the Dialux, and then having a look at the return on investment and your energy savings. And those two things combined will give you enough information to decide exactly which lumen per watt will be the optimal for your company. If you're thinking short term, then lower lumen per watt can be used. If you're thinking very long term, like for example the councils and the government, then a higher lumen per watt will be more expensive initially, but over a 10-year period you will be earning that money back several times. Right. The next thing you want to do is you want to go and measure your lux levels right now, so you know what you've got, and then you want to decide on the new levels that you want to obtain. The lux levels, you can get those in any electrical supply store, and basically just walk around your premises in all the critical areas where you know your employees or your customers would need light for doing their work. You want to measure them and then find out whether which levels you would like to reach in which area. We've got some recommendations in the bottom of the slide. Usually we prefer to aim a bit higher than these levels. So I would say that these recommendations are more like minimum levels you should reach. Obviously, if you've got your employees working in very dark premises, then they will feel sleepy and not be as motivated. If you bring them into premises with stronger light, they will feel more awake. It's that simple. So we like to do better on the light levels. Does that make sense? Yeah, great. The third thing you want to do is choose the areas where sensors can be used. Now, daylight sensors are great because anything outside can be connected to a daylight sensor. In the summertime, the light fittings will only be lit for a few hours every night. In the wintertime, you will have up to 12 hours of light required, and the daylight sensor can be set to any point that you would like, and then turn off and off automatically. Motion sensors are great as well. If you've got parts of your premises where there are lower traffic and just a few people in there every day, a few times every day, then motion sensors are great. They will turn on the light whenever they sense that somebody enters the room, and then 5 to 10 minutes after somebody has left the room, then they will dim down and turn off. So this can be used for for example, for aisles or small storage rooms. Keep it in mind in any which case. The fourth thing you want to do is you want to get a Dialux simulation. Without a Dialux, you will basically be driving blindfolded. The Dialux will tell you the optimal amount of fittings, the optimal type of fittings, the optimal beam angle, and it will give you the exact lux levels to expect at the end of the project when everything has been installed. What we do with Dialux, we've got engineers, and for every project we make at least 5 Dialux using different type of fittings, using different fittings with different wattage or lumen output, and definitely using different beam angles, and see the results on the ground, and see which scenario is best, is optimal for your premises. So this is a kind of a, this is we try, and we, from experience, we can now use less and less Dialuxes for every project, but we always make at least 5 just to be sure. I want to show you something in the next slide. So the fifth thing you want to consider is the beam angle, and this is where you can really see a difference. Now, if you look at the top here, you can see that there are 4 different beam angles on those photos. Now, one is very narrow, but it actually directs a lot of light a lot further and very strongly to a small point. Whereas if you look to the right, the beam angle is much wider, distributes the same amount of light, but distributes it over a bigger surface. And so from here you will have less lux on any given point, but you will have a much higher spread, which is, for example, is great for outside when you're using floodlights and you want to kind of, with one single light fitting, you want to kind of illuminate a big part of a parking lot. But inside, for example, in this, if you look at the Dialux below, this is a warehouse with a lot of racks and aisles, and in this instance it's great to use lenses, because instead of illuminating the racks and to the sides, then you're actually using lenses to direct all of the light 10 meters down to the floor. And if you look at the one to the left, here we are not using any lenses, and we're reaching 228 lux on average at floor level. However, using lenses on the right Dialux, we are reaching 311 lux on average. And remember, there is no cost involved in adding lenses to our light fittings. So basically, you'll be getting 30% more light to the floor without any additional cost. Now, this really proves how important beam angles, lenses, and Dialuxes are. You want to optimize this point. This is free money that you're giving away if you don't do this exercise. Does that make sense? Yeah. Right. So the last thing I want to tell you about here is you need to choose a high quality driver. The difference between a high quality driver and a low quality driver is a standard driver will give you about 2 to 3 years life, whereas a high quality driver can give you 5 to 10 years life. the difference in price is insignificant compared to actually tripling the life of the fitting. So please, whatever you do, always choose the best driver that you can get your hands on. The last point here I want to go through is you should have a calculation on of the energy savings and the return on investment. Either you make it yourself or you should get your supplier to do this. There are a lot of variables to take into account. What are your existing light fittings? How many hours per day are you in operation? How many days per year? And what's your cost of energy? All of this can give you an estimate of your savings per year and your payback time. Now you can combine that with the various Dialuxes and use that to find your optimal lumen per watt and see which results are the best for you. Now another point that we can do with these calculations is actually to show you how these can be financed. So we work with a financing company that can arrange a 5-year finance on our LED fittings, because they know that our LED fittings are going to last at least 5 years. So they are happy to finance these over 5 years. And in this instance, actually, this client was able to save £900 per month without any upfront costs. So if you have any limitations on your budget, then this is a great way to get the project done without any upfront investments or budget. Right. So now we've gone through the 7 most critical points. I promise to show you 2 examples. One of them is Goals Football. This is the UK's largest 5-a-side football operator. We are installing 400 football pitches this month as we speak. And I wanted to show you these results. Actually, this is taken from a video that is on our website, so you can go in there and see yourself. But this is a screenshot. We had a drone flying over these football pitches before and after we installed the LED lights, and basically with 50 lux it was pretty hard to see where the ball was and and where the goalkeeper was. We reached 126 lux afterwards, and everybody was really happy with the results. And at the same time, we actually saved them 48% energy. So these are pretty strong results. This was obtained with an aggressive use of lenses, and it had the effect actually that we directed most of the light straight down to the pitch. And the effect of that was actually that the glare to the neighbors was reduced dramatically, because all of the light was directed straight down to the pitches. So it actually had this additional benefit for the neighbors as well. Another example I wanted to show you is Imperial Cash and Carry. We just finished it last week. Before there was 120 lux there, and after we installed the LED lights, we reached 365 lux. Now this video is on our website as well. It looks amazing, so please go in and have a look yourself, and you can see the photos and the video. We tripled the lux levels. And we still managed to save 62% energy. So the client was really happy on this. And then on top of this, there's no maintenance. Now, if you look at these premises, there's 10 meters up to these light fittings, right? So anytime you had a light bulb that was not working, you would need, the maintenance guys would need to get a lifter in, and you would have two guys on a lifter for 1 hour in order to get the lights back up and running. So the maintenance guys will have to find something else to do for the next 5 years, but the owner is really happy with the results. So this was, yeah, really, really proud of these results. Have a look yourself on our website. Great. So today we promised to show you following 7 points. How to decide on lumen per watt ratio. How to decide on the lux levels that you want to obtain. How to choose the areas where sensors can be used. The importance of a Dialux simulation. How to choose the optimal beam angle and use that together with the Dialux simulation. The importance of buying high quality drivers, and last but not least, all the information that you can get from the energy calculations that should be done in conjunction with each project. Now, I think this is amazing value. I hope you really have taken notes and remembered all of this. Now, because you're staying here until the end of the webinar, I'm going to send you our checklist as I promised, and you'll get it by email. And please use this when you consider to change to LED lights, so that you can stay in the driver's seat and really get the optimal and 100% results for your investment into LED lights. Then you'll be getting great results. Now, people are asking me, why are we doing this webinar and why are we doing them for free? Well, basically, this is made for our customers. We ask all of our customers to view this webinar before we come and visit them, so that we are sure that they can ask us all the necessary questions. We want to educate them on asking us the right questions. We want to educate them to demand from us everything that can be done, so that we can provide them with the best customized solution for them. If we think that you're a good fit for what we do, then we'll invite you to become a client as well. You can apply right now below polarislight.com/apply, and if we think you're a good fit, then we'll contact you, and we'll help you measure the lux levels and get the Dialuxes done and the energy calculations and all of these things free of charge, without any commitments. We're going to send a consultant for half an hour time, and then we're going to send you all the results from this afterwards. So if you think this would be worthwhile, and you think this applies to you, then please click below and apply. Does that make sense? Great. Now you've got an important decision to make. Do you want to stay where you are today, like this guy before? 120 lux or lower. He's got very high energy bills and many lights that needs maintenance every single month. Or do you want to take the step in and getting the LED lights installed, starting the project, and stay in the driver's seat of this project? Then you can triple your lux levels, you can save 70% on your energy bill, and you can get your maintenance guys to do something else for the next 5 years. if you think this is you, then go to polarislight.com/apply and fill in the application, and we'll get started. Now, I really hope that you've enjoyed this webinar. I'll thank you a lot for staying to the end. I think you've gotten a lot of value here. I am sure that you'll be using the checklists when you want to convert to LED lights, and I really hope to see you personally out on your premises and working together on a project. But anyways, we got a lot of work this month, so I'll have to get back to that. But again, thanks so much for staying to the end, and hopefully we will see you soon. All right, well, have a fantastic day. Cheers.